And if you know what you're doing, you can find just about anything on anybody because we all are leaving trails behind us. You'll see a lot of planes coming in with their signals blocked so that nobody knows that they're there. It usually means that some law enforcement or military activity is going to take place. Mark your calendars that I said that. Something's going to happen in Mexico, and it may not be good.
Hey everyone, I'm really happy to have Master Hacker OTW back on the show. Welcome OTW.
I'm great, and I want to thank you for inviting me to come back and talk more about cybersecurity with all of your viewers and students. So thank you.
So OTW, almost every time I release a video, people ask me immediately, when is OTW coming back? And even a few days ago, after I published a video about the DNS trick that the NSA is mostly concerned about, the first comment was asking about you.
I'm glad they like me.
Yeah.
That's really flattering. So I enjoy coming here and doing what I can to enlighten people and share my knowledge and skills. So I'll keep on doing it.
And what we are going to speak about today?
Well, what I want to do today is it's often referred to as open source intelligence. Right? Open source intelligence, and open source intelligence is a really, really large field, and it's a field that's really growing rapidly. The idea behind open source intelligence is that as an open source intelligence investigator, you have the ability to find data that is spread all over the internet. So, I mean, there's so much data out there. And if you know what you're doing, you can find just about anything on anybody because we all are leaving trails behind us as we are traversing the internet. And now in 2026, all of that information is going into AI systems. And so, but we don't necessarily need an AI system to be able to gather this information. And this is a really rapidly growing area of research and commercial application. And one of the things that I think a lot of people fail to recognize is that they think about OSINT as kind of like tracking people, or finding, what accounts they have. But it can be so much bigger than that. I mean, it can be used for, geopolitical intelligence, right? We're talking about things that are going on between nations. When we have conflicts and we have various activities that are meant to intimidate or, in one way or another, get another country to do what we want them to do or not do. And so one of the things that I wanted to do today is to look at a couple of applications that are useful for doing more like geopolitical OSINT. All right, so what I want to look at is two applications that are basically picking up radio signals. And once again, I want to emphasize the importance of radio signals. Right? These are radio signals coming from ships and from airplanes. Right? So all of these ships, and airplanes have to have these radio signals that are embedded in their system to better help with navigation. We don't have collisions between ships and airplanes, right? And so these radio signals have GPS coordinates, and we can track a ship, we can track an airplane as it traverses the globe, right? And we can find out information about the ship or the airplane. Specifically, if we find an airplane or ship that we're really interested in, we can go ahead and do more research on that particular vehicle. So the first one I want to show you is it's called MarineTraffic. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen now. All right. This is an application that is called MarineTraffic. And as you'd expect from its name, it's tracking all the shipping in the world. Right? So what we're looking at here is the Gulf of Mexico. Who would have thought that would be a controversial thing? And over here, we have the Gulf of California. Okay. And so, and interestingly, over here, okay, we have basically the Sinaloa area, right, of Mexico, where this is where the drug cartels are at. Right? So I tend to watch this area to see, oh, here's Sinaloa right here, right there. I watch this area to see what activity is going on in anticipation that, something's going to happen soon, right? And sometimes you can see, military ships, and sometimes spy ships going through here. And so this is, let me adjust this a little bit. All right. So when you see these little triangles here, you can click on them and it'll tell you, first of all, I just hover over it, it tells me the name of the ship, right? And if I click on it, it gives me more information. This looks like it's the California Star. It's a passenger ship. And it looks like it's a passenger ferry going through California here. Right? And you can see, if you zoom in, you can go and look at smaller ships, little pleasure craft here. Here's one here. Oh, that's a big one. Looks like that's more. What does it say? Type of ship it is? It's a cement carrier. Okay. Interestingly, cement is really, really important commodity in the whole world. But in Mexico, it's particularly important because all the houses are made out of cement in Mexico, right? And so cement is a really, really important commodity there. Occasionally, like the Russian shadow fleets, they'll turn off their AES, okay, AIS, I'm sorry. And so there's two ways of tracking these ships. There's terrestrial AIS, okay, which is as long as the ships are within the shore, close to the shoreline, they can pick up the AIS signal from people who just for fun collect that data and then send it into an application like this, right? And then there is the satellite AIS, and that's probably what this ship had turned off, the one we looked at just a minute ago.
So OTW just mentioned AIS, and let me explain in very simple terms what it actually is. So AIS, or Automatic Identification System, is a system where ships broadcast their own identity and position. So every few seconds, a vessel sends out a radio signal over VHF saying, this is who I am, this is where I am, and this is how fast I'm moving. Now, near the coast, these signals are picked up by shore-based ground station, basically antennas along the coastline. That's why ship tracking near land is usually very accurate. But once ships go offshore or far offshore, ground station can't hear them anymore. This is where satellites come in, and satellites with AIS receivers listen from space and collect those same broadcasts. That's how platforms like MarineTraffic can show ships in the middle of the ocean. Now, one important OSINT point. AIS is self-reported. It's not encrypted. It can be turned off. It can be spoofed. So when you see a ship on a map, you are not seeing a radar trace. You are seeing what the ship claims about itself. So MarineTraffic offers a free tier that lets you register and view basic vessels' positions and movement without paying. Now, more advanced features such as satellite-based AIS, extended historical tracking, port congestion, and analytics require paid plans or subscription. On mobile, there are in-app purchases for additional features like extended maps, AR tools, and specialized data layers. So to summarize, free of basic vessels tracking, paid for deeper data, satellite AIS, and premium features.
We can go up to, say, look it up here at Ukraine, right? And interesting. Look at, you see almost no ships along the coast of Ukraine, and you could probably guess why. Because it's a war zone, right?
Oh,
It's a war zone, so people don't, they don't want to go in that area. But this is the area that Russia wants back. They took this in 2014, and they still control it. This is a very famous port here called Sebastopol. Sebastopol. This is really what they want. This is Crimea, right? And interestingly, let's see what's floating around Sebastopol right now.
they are currently holding it anyway. Right?
Yeah, the Russians hold Crimea. Yep, they hold Crimea. And this is a really, really important port for controlling the Black Sea. Right? And so it's been contested for centuries. It used to be controlled by Turkey, the old Turkish Empire. And then Russia took it from the Turkish Empire in like 1787, I think. And it's been part of the Russian Empire since then. And then, of course, when the Soviet Empire broke up, this became part of Ukraine. And it's something that Putin really, really, really wants back. But you can see there's almost no ships. There should be normally lots of ships along this coast, but it's dangerous. So people are avoiding it, right? And this is the Kerch Straits here, and the Kerch Bridge just connects the Crimea to Russia over here.
Yeah.
And some of you know that hackers arise at the beginning of the Ukraine-Russia war. One of the things that we did to assist Ukraine was to track the yachts owned by the big oligarchs in Russia. And those ships, some of them are, $100 million, $1 billion yachts. So we tracked them this way. We got the names of the yachts, and then we tracked them. So I'll show you how we can do that. So let's see if we can find Putin's yacht. There it is. It's Putin's yacht called the Scheherazade, right here. This is Putin's yacht. It's almost like a $1 billion ship. It's huge, right? So there it is, right? And notice that the flag is in Malaysia.
Malaysia.
Right?
Yeah.
Malaysia flag, not a Russian flag. It's a Malaysian flag. Okay. And then we can go over here and see where it's at in the world, right? And there it is. And it's been sitting in the same spot. We located it here for NATO back in 2022, like April of 2022. And NATO, this is one of the last ships that NATO actually grabbed, and they're still holding it to this day. They still hold it. And it's in the same spot. It hasn't moved in 4 years. So it's just sitting in this marina here in Italy. And we found a number of others as well. So I think we ended up locating 7 or 8, and then all of them got captured by NATO, and they're being held, as a way to hopefully pay for the damage that Russia has done to Ukraine, which is pretty devastating stuff. But anyways, so this is really, I get really excited about this stuff, right? So I don't know if anybody else does, but I love this stuff, being able to see what's going on in the world, in real time, right? So this is really cool. Maybe you want to pay attention to your backyard, or or a particular area of potential conflict or commercial interest. Another one is one that's can track aircraft, right? And so it's similar. The airplanes give off a similar signal, right? That they can be tracked anywhere in the world. So these applications are basically collecting that data and then putting it out on a map, right? But here's another one. This one is called Air Nav Radar. I'll put it up.
We don't see it yet.
Yep, here it is. Yep, here it is.
Oh, here it is.
Oh, yeah, here it is. Okay. So you can see we'll zoom out a little bit. My gosh, look at how many planes are.
Wow.
Lots of people traveling. You see that, and if you click on the planes, right, like similar to the marine traffic, click on, say, this plane right here. We don't know what it is or where it's going, but we'll find out in a minute. It's
Yeah.
going from San Diego
Honolulu.
to Honolulu, right? It
Not
tells me
bad,
when it
not bad.
left,
Yeah.
when it go, the departure time, the arrival. It'll tell me the the duration of its flight, the altitude, the ground speed, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it
Mm-hmm.
tells me it's, yeah. So lots of good stuff, and we can track it. You can see it's showing me the track of this plane as
Yeah.
well, right? And what it's going to, where it's going to go. So I can do this with any of these planes, right? And find out. And I found it useful sometimes to, like, when family or friends or relatives are coming in, I can track their plane in real time to see whether or not they're going to be on time, right? Because if there's a storm or what have you, they may be delayed, and I can see it.
So now let's switch to aircraft because the idea is very similar. Aircraft use something called ADSB, Automatic Dependent Surveillance Broadcast. So just like ships with AIS, aircraft broadcast their own data openly. That includes the flight number, altitude, speed, and exact position. That position comes from something called GNSS. Like GPS, the aircraft calculates where it's using satellites and then broadcasts the position using ADSB. These signals are received by ground station on land and also by satellites, which is why flights can be tracked even over oceans. From an OSINT perspective, this is powerful because ADSB is not encrypted. Anyone with the right receiver or application like AirNav radar can see it. But just like AIS, it is still self-reported data. So if GNSS is wrong, jammed, or spoofed, the broadcast will reflect that. So again, this isn't magic surveillance. It's system openly announcing themselves to the world. The AirNav radar platform or application also have a free access tier where you can see the real-time flight data and basic flight tracking information. Like similar flight trackers, in example FlightAware 24, there are paid subscription plans that unlock premium features as extended history, airport flight states, fleet tracking, weather overlays, and advanced analytics. So free version available, subscription required for premium data and advanced feature.
The Persian Gulf right here. Look at all the planes going through the Persian Gulf.
Still a lot of planes are going above Iran, while the situation there is very hot. Interesting.
Right, and the thing is that when it gets really hot, you'll see no planes. All of a sudden,
Exactly.
I was watching it the last time when the U.S. bombed Iran, and there was, for like a day before, there was like no planes. There's a few planes.
Yeah.
There was a few planes. Okay, let's see who's flying. Who has the courage to fly over Iran at this time? These are all carriers, they're all
Emirates.
airliners.
Yeah.
I don't see any military. Sometimes you'll see military, right? But and so yep.
Interesting.
But yeah, it's interesting. If you go up to say Ukraine.
No, you can see that people are flights going above or below. You can see, but still there are some planes there. They didn't close the.
Right. They're trying to avoid that airspace.
Yeah,
Right? You can see
you see.
here's Iran, and they're taking this path here, and they're taking this path here.
Oh,
They're trying to avoid landing or going over Iran.
Yeah.
Because that might mean a missile or something. It's not good for your health.
So now when we zoom into the Persian Gulf, this region is always sensitive, especially with the current tension between the US and Iran. So naturally people ask, can we actually track military vessels here? The short answer is sometimes, but not always. Many commercial vessels in the Gulf openly transmit AIS, so tankers, cargo ships, and support vessels are usually visible on platforms like MarineTraffic. When it comes to naval forces, it's different. US Navy ships can technically transmit AIS, and sometimes they do, especially when operating near civilian traffic for safety. But during heat and tension or sensitive operation, AIS is often turned off, masked, or deliberately limited. That means an aircraft carrier group or destroyers may be physically there, but completely invisible on public tracing applications. This is an important OSINT lesson. So absence on the map doesn't mean absence in reality. So analysts often look at indirect signals instead, like increased support vessels, logistics ships, sudden port activity, or changes in commercial traffic pattern. So marine traffic doesn't show you classified movement, but it does give you context, patterns, and clues, which is exactly why OSINT is about interpretation, not just dots on the map.
One of the things that I've been doing lately is I've been watching Mexico, right? Because I think something's going to happen in Mexico. So mark your calendars that I said that something's going to happen in Mexico. And it may not be good. Probably it's not going to be good. But so I've been keeping an eye on some of the airports in Mexico. Okay. And I hope nothing bad happens in Mexico. So, but I suspect, and I have reason to believe, I have reason to believe that something is about to take place in Mexico. So I've been watching it. And this is Mexico City right here. Okay. And then there's another airport right here called Toluca. And I watched Toluca really close because in general, the military and the law enforcement planes don't land in Mexico City because it's too obvious. It's too busy of an airport and it's too obvious. So in Mexico, the military and law enforcement land here in Toluca. You can see it's right next to Mexico City. It's a smaller airport and it's an industrial city. It's a big car manufacturing area. Right? And so I was keeping an eye on it the other day, right? And just anticipating that something might be going on. And I want to show you what I found. All right. So you can see right here, there's lots of planes. There's a few planes landing, and you can see how busy Mexico City is over here. There's only a few planes here, and one of them has its transceiver blocked. Right. Here's one right here, blocked. Right. And so this is not really unusual. You know, what happens is that like small corporate jets oftentimes will turn off their transceiver because they don't want, anybody know where they're going to and coming from. But also you'll see the military and law enforcement will turn off their transceiver because they want to be stealthy, right? But you'll see, we're looking at the screen. This is live real time right now. We see one plane that has blocked. It's a pretty good sized plane. I mean, these little caricatures of planes are approximating their size, right? So you can see this is a bigger plane here. This is a little plane here, right? So, so you can see there's one. Oh, here's one coming in here that's blocked right here. Okay, but when there's going to be a law enforcement, military activity, you'll see a lot of planes coming in with their signals blocked so that nobody knows that they're there, right? So I was watching this last week and I noticed there's like last Tuesday, I believe, right? Last Tuesday. I was like, man, there's a lot of planes landing in Toluca, taking off and landing in Toluca with their blocked, right? So I wonder what's going on. Something's going to happen if there's that many planes coming in and out of Toluca, right, with their transceivers blocked. So let me show you what happened there. So one of the things that's one of the beauties of this application is all this data is stored into a database, and then you can go back and replay that database. Right. So here we go, and let's change this to. Yeah, that should work. Let's go back one day earlier. Yeah, so it was that. And then we'll go to the 20th. The activity took place on the 21st. So we're going to kind of capture all the data from one day. Okay. And if we, and this is right now, we're still in real time, but let's go and move into our period. Okay. This is, all right. So we're going to see the activity, there's a few planes coming in, leaving, right? But let's fast forward to the next day, and I'll show you what was happening there. I think this is Tuesday or Wednesday. I'm just fast forwarding through to get you to that period of time. And then we'll take a look at the activity that was taking place in Toluca on that day.
Interesting.
Yeah. So editors, you can edit out all of this as I'm
don't worry. Yeah.
through. But it's about, we start seeing it at about 1400 UTC. So this has got a few hours to go. The beauty of editing is nobody has to watch me scroll through here.
Yeah.
Okay, we're on January. We're on January 21st.
Yeah.
All right. This is the day I'm talking about. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And so here's the first time we started seeing some planes coming in was right about here. Yeah. You'll start seeing. Okay. Here's
And
one
all
coming in from
blocked. Yeah.
blocked. Okay. This one doesn't land. It just goes past. Here's another one coming in blocked. Okay. But it gets really, really busy. Okay. Let's go forward. Of a lot of planes coming in with their signals blocked, which, military and law enforcement can block their transponders. Others are not supposed to. Right?
Yeah.
But military.
If it's commercial flight, of course not, right? Unless.
Right. So it's commercial flight. No, here's one coming in blocked. All right. This one's going into Mexico City. Okay. But the really big traffic starts coming in right a few hours later. Let's go. Okay, we're at noon UTC. And all right.
Oh, now I see many.
Look at all
Wow.
blocked. Okay, blocked. Okay. These are all these planes are blocked. They're all coming into Toluca. All right. And if we watch this for a while, you'll see even more come in blocked. All right. Let's scroll ahead a little bit more. And you could watch this all day long and not see that many planes coming in blocked. So this made me really curious. It's like, what's going on? That you got all these planes coming in with their transceivers turned off. It usually means that's there's some law enforcement or military activities going to take place. Let me go scroll a little bit further. And I'm going to go to 1750. Where it's at, right here. Okay. Okay, blocked. Okay. Blocked.
And small airplanes. Yeah.
It's most of them are small airplanes. There's a few big ones as well that are blocked as well. So there was a lot of activity at this airport of blocked planes. And so that made me wonder, like, what the heck's going on? That there's so many planes coming in to Toluca, And the answer is, ta-da! The very next day, we get this news story. Ryan Wedding, ex-Olympic snowboarder, accused of being a drug kingpin, pleads not guilty. He was captured the very next day by U.S. law enforcement. All right. And so this is what was going on. Right. You can see these are FBI.
Yeah.
And those planes were likely FBI planes or other law enforcement planes coming in to Toluca so they could do this law enforcement action. So it's one of those things that you can, if you like this kind of stuff, it's kind of interesting. I know there's other geeks out there besides myself who would enjoy this. But yeah, it's kind of fun to be able to kind of keep an eye in the sky of the whole world and see what's going on. And in a time of turmoil like we live in, right, there could be some interesting stuff going on.
Definitely.
We have a lot of crazy stuff going on in the world right now. And so this is one of the ways that you can kind of track what's going on in the world right now.
I want to say thank you for Occupy the Web for showing these marine and aviation tracking apps and for sharing his insights. This is exactly kind of OSINT content people are curious about, seeing what's publicly available and understanding the security implication behind it. And I'm sure many people watching are genuinely interested in this. So leave your comment. Let us know if you want to see more on that subject. And until the next video, see you.
Thank you, Yaniv.